All right, so I wanted to show you the persimmons and tell you really quick a little bit about persimmons and when they're grafted.
Down in South Florida where the sun shines bright, papers, fruit trees make the world taste right. Mangoes, avocados, papayas.
So a persimmon tree can be grafted onto its own rootstock, and my recommendation is that you graft onto its own rootstock. Now, people have said over the years that you can graft persimmon onto Black Sapote because it is in the same family, Diospyros. Now, from my experience, every darn time that I've seen these trees grafted onto Black Sapote, they fail. And the failure always seems to be the same. Now, maybe you've had luck. Maybe you have actually grafted one and can show folks that yours thrive and that your trees do well. But as I said, my experience is you're wasting your time. Am I wrong? Let me know in the comments. So let me continue. So this is a 1 gallon grafted, and I'm going to say this, grafted and now dead, Triumph Persimmon Scion. Okay, this is the Scion. This is a piece of wood that came from a Triumph Persimmon, and it's grafted onto a rootstock, which you can see these leaves. This is, my friends, this is Black Sapote. This is not a persimmon, or it's not Diospyros of any of the kind or any of the khaki. So this here, the Scion, is now dead. And the interesting thing is that this is a year now. This is literally a year. And for about 6 months, you can see the buds would be, the buds would stay fine. It looks like they're going to come and they're going to burst and open and turn into a beautiful grafted persimmon tree. But that's not what happens in every case I've ever seen. And again, have you ever seen this? Have you seen it repeatedly happening? Have you never tried this? Or maybe you do know for a fact that this is always a failure, or maybe you do know for a fact that there are some successes, because I haven't seen any, and I'd love to see some successes with Black Sapote. In other words, persimmon grafted onto a Black Sapote doesn't work. Okay? Now, prove me wrong. Now let's get closer here. This here, I'll do the best I can to stay in focus. This is where I removed the parafilm, okay? And this is where the cleft graft was done. A cleft graft is basically you cut the mother plant and then you just take a grafting knife and you just cut down, and then you have a wedge on your Scion and you place it in there and then you bind it together. The interesting thing is that yes, they fuse. I'm pushing that fairly hard, and I'm going to go this way, sideways, pretty hard. I don't want to go aggressively hard, but if it wasn't fused somewhat, it would have broken off already. And the gaps, there are no gaps. It's very well grafted. You can see it's fused beautifully. It's well grafted. Now, if we look at the buds, and we look here, and we already took a knife and scraped this, it is completely dead. But 6 months ago, this was green. This had green. These buds were bursting slowly with tiny little leaves, but they never really got that start that they needed to thrive, to really push. So I wanted to show you that a lot of times people will sell these to you and you'll spend good money, and sadly, maybe they don't know. Obviously they're not aware. Maybe they were just told, yeah, it'll work. But guess what? Every time I've seen this happen, it's a failure. So, make sure that you know who you're buying your plants from, and that they can pretty much assure you that, yes, absolutely, this is a Diospyros virginiana. In the case of South Florida, you want to have that variety of rootstock. That's the Native American persimmon. And you want to graft either your South Florida or your Triumph, or maybe some other variety like Saruga, or maybe even the variety called Eureka, which is from Texas. Those are possibly going to be good choices for Florida, South Florida. Eureka and the Saruga. I've heard that they produce fruit down here. But I know for a fact that Triumph and the South Florida variety, also known as Hudson or also known as tropical persimmon, will produce in South Florida. So if you want to experiment with grafting, I say go for it, but get yourself some seedlings of Diospyros virginiana so that you can be successful in the challenging work that it is to actually graft something. But if you're going to take the time to do it right. Use Diospyros virginiana. Am I wrong? Let me know in the comments.
Down in South Florida where the sun shines bright, Papa's fruit trees make the world taste right. Mangoes, avocados, papayas too. Papa's got a tree just waiting for you. Papa's fruit trees growing sweet and true. From the tropics to your backyard, they'll come through.